It is time for the Link Show. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Link Show. Absolutely wonderful to have you. My name is Dougal and yes, Rhoda.
Yeah. Welcome to the Link Show, everybody, and welcome Dougal as well. Always excited when we're doing the Link Show. You know, this is one of those shows that really inspires, makes me extremely excited, especially for our students out there.
Yeah, and also very welcome from Jabbar's side, our deaf interpreter here on the Link Show. So I hope everybody is well, and I can tell you what, this is definitely the show you want to be in. And firstly, let's just mention this. It's an interactive show, so we welcome and look forward to your questions and comments, because this is where it starts. This is where your journey begins right now, not just transforming your own life, but also becoming a productive contributor, and not in terms of your own finances, in terms of your career, but also for the country, the nation, and all of that. And that is what the journey with Northlink is all about. So this show dedicated to that, this is where your journey starts. And we've got the experts in, they're going to answer all your questions. And today we're talking about something that's very close to my heart.
Is that so, Dougal?
Hair care. No, yeah, that is what we are talking about. We are talking hair care and cosmetology. That is what the topic centers around today, as we have told you. And it's really fascinating because firstly, this is just a continuously expanding industry and sector. It's absolutely huge, Rhoda.
That's so true, Dougal. And I mean, speaking from my side as well, you know, this is something that's part of your life, in almost every day part of your life. Your hair, your presentation, the way you look, the way you come forward, especially, you know, if you're going for an interview or you're actually meeting people or you're just going out in public as such, you need to look presentable. And this is exactly, you know, the type of business that you need out there, because I'm sorry, I can't go walk out there or be on a show if my hair is not done and my makeup's not done. So I'm sorry. It's very important. It's part of our lives.
No, it is. It is. And the thing is, and a lot of it, and it's one of those things where you can actually turn your passion into a career.
Oh, yeah.
So it is very simple. So if you're in the business or you want to transform lives, you want to experience all of that, and you have a creative edge and you're looking for that career, then this is definitely something to you. And that is what we're talking about with today. And we'll be joined by the experts. And like I mentioned to you, of course, your questions and comments, we look forward to it. So hair care and cosmetology, that is what we're talking about. So the occupational certificate, a hairdressing course or hairdressing course, of course, is a 3-year full-time course at the Parow campus. And then the International Diploma in Cosmetology, 1-year course, full-time, also offered at the campus in Parow at Northlink College. Now, we are joined by Helena Besaidenout, who is the head of department for hair care and cosmetology. And we're going to get going and stuck in and get the questions to her as well. So, Helena, thank you so much for joining us here on the Link Show. How are you doing? Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Doing really well. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Now, I started off by saying that you are the head of department for this specific department. Just quickly tell us, what is your role?
My role at the Parow campus as head of department is the management and overseeing of our hairdressing and cosmetology courses. I was also involved in creating the structure of our beauty and hairdressing courses for this year. As you would have noticed, we've expanded our offering. And we included 6 months options for the students. Instead of just having the opportunity to commit to a full year, they now have the ability to study for 6 months, exit with an international qualification in the beauty, and then either go and work within the trade or actually continue with the course and gain other qualifications in another 6 months. So students are able to tailor make whatever it is that they want in the form of qualification, as well as in the time frame that they want to study.
Oh,
wow.
Perfect.
That is extraordinary. Sorry, I just want to jump in there because I need to get back. I like the fact that you can sort of tailor make it and do it in the time frame. We're definitely going to get back to that.
We're going to get back to that one. Definitely. So my question for you, basically, and I'm just looking at you and you're so beautiful and I love that hair at the end of the day. I'm just in love with it. Could I then ask you, I shouldn't even ask you this because I can actually see why you chose this. You know, why did you choose the beauty industry?
I've been part of the beauty industry now since 2000. My team and I has collectively over 100 years of experience within the industry. And I think the one thing that we all have in common is that we wanted to work with people. We also wanted to make a difference in people's lives by doing something that we love, something that we're passionate about, changing people's lives, even if it's just an ear to listen, to give a treatment, to pamper, to give them that me time that clients very often need. And all of us collectively, including myself, that has been the goal of why I'm part of this industry.
Just on that one, I'm laughing a bit here because I can really say that my hairdresser, sometimes my therapist, you know, this is the one place you can sit and actually discuss quite a bit and not really but stressed about knowing anybody else, but it's your time with your hairdresser.
Definitely. Definitely.
You know what, the one thing that I've noticed, it's an ever expanding industry as much as this is really where hardcore innovation is taking place, and it is really all the things that touch the soul. But now, Elena, let's go into it. Take us through the program offerings.
All right. I'll start with hairdressing. We have the option for the QCTO, Occupational Certificate, NQF Level 4 in hairdressing. This is a 3-year full-time course, and it comprises of a theoretical component that is done at college, a practical component, which is also managed at college, and then a workplace component.
All right.
The workplace component gives the student the opportunity to learn while on the job. So from people that is experts within the industry, people that are working with clients, so they're teaching and learning from somebody that does this every single day. So by having those 3 components, our students have the ability to not just technically gain the knowledge and the skill, but also practically within the workplace, see how the day-to-day goings on in a salon is managed and learn from somebody that has a business and how to sometimes even open their own business after they've completed their studies.
Okay.
This 3-year qualification also ends with a trade test, which is a national certification in hairdressing, occupational certificate. And this means that the student then gets the recognition as well as the standardization of what South Africans needs as a hairdressing qualification. So that is our hairdressing offering at the moment. We are looking into expanding into shorter courses in future, because we have had the public approach us several times in saying, can I just do barbering? Can I just do styling? Can I just do shampooing? So we are looking to expand next year into those offerings for our hairdressing department. And then for beauty, we have quite a diverse offering.
Okay.
Students that want to commit to a year full-time study, they would enroll for our cosmetology diploma. Northlink College is accredited by ITEC. We are a service provider and training center. And so the qualifications that we offer under beauty is specifically accredited with ITEC, which is a UK qualification.
Okay.
And the reason why we chose this as an option for our qualifications is because the girls are not only able to work locally, because it is a highly recognizable, high standard of training locally, but also they will then be able to expand their wings and work overseas, whether this is in another country or on the cruise lines, which is extremely popular within our industry itself. So our cosmetology offering is 1 year full-time. The students would enroll in the beginning of the year or in the middle of the year, and then they will continue with that for a year and exit with 5 international ITEC accredited qualifications.
Okay.
Our alternative is, of course, that we can enroll students that does not have a matric qualification for a level 1. Okay. And this qualification is an introductory studies into the beauty industry. Okay. So we're basically filling a gap between the student or the learner that exited school at an early stage, but still wants to gain the opportunity of building their own career. And so the level 1 is then our entry, which the student needs to have grade 9 and be at least 16 years of age. Then the student, once she has completed that successfully, she has the option of either continuing on to level 2 and to level 3, or she can then exit and start with her career within the industry. So the idea of a level 1 and a level 2 and a level 3 is that the student can build her own course and go at her own pace. And this is with regards to a financial situation that she might be going through. She might have to go and work for 6 months or a year after she studied for the 6 months, or she wants to have industry experience, come back, and then further qualify herself. So then the level 2 is the beauty specialist diploma, of which the requirements is grade 12, a grade 12 certificate.
Yeah.
And this beauty specialist is our basic therapy or therapist training. This is also a 6-month course, which they will then qualify after 6 months and exit with their international qualification. And then the last one is the level 3.
Okay.
That is our beauty therapy diploma. And this is our more advanced subjects like nail technology, holistic massage, lash extensions, facial electrical. And the students that do this would have the opportunity to then go into the industry and work at any possible beauty industry related work. So like a spa, a salon, overseas, cruise lines, they could open their own business, as well as work within the cosmetic industry as a representative for products, or even in the cosmetic centers within the shopping malls.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to jump one back quickly because, you know, sometimes a person tend to get stuck in hairdressing. You mentioned there as well like a barber. So obviously, I mean, I've seen a lot of these new styles where they're shaving all these, you know, funky styles and things like that. So this is also somewhere you guys touch as well, you know, in the barber side as well?
Yes, we touch the barber side in the sense that we do men's grooming and gents cuts as part of the 3-year full-time qualification. So the fancy cutting and the styling is definitely something that clients are more interested nowadays. And we are incorporating that more and more into the syllabus and into the teaching of the students. As I said, there's also a lot of people that want to come and study this as a part-time or as a short course. Okay. So we are looking into expanding our hairdressing offering in that way.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Elena, and you mentioned this because let's be honest, if somebody is studying, life throws you a curveball. You mentioned a couple of reasons why somebody might take a break. And I actually want to ask, I'll just go back to that. Why did you then see it basically fit to offer students the option to study for a period of 6 months? And then the return, and they can also complete another diploma. And will they even return?
The idea of the different levels and the 6 months is, yes, life throws you a curveball. We've had many students that, due to unforeseen circumstances, they needed to pause their studies. And what previously happened with a 1-year qualification, the student would then have to exit and she would receive nothing for that time that she spent there. And that for me is money wasted as well as time wasted, where in a 6-month course, the student would be able to afford that easier because the price differentiation obviously is lower. And also you would then talk to the student, consult with them and say, maybe just hang on a little bit and finish the 6 months, get your money's worth, and then whatever curveball life has thrown at you, you can then handle it a little bit better. We find that our students, even though we give them the option of enrolling for 6 months at a time, our full year qualification is still the most popular. In the beginning of the year, we had students that enrolled for the first 6 months, and all of them have extended their studies to the second 6 months as well, because the levels differ, the subjects differ, you build from one qualification onto the next. So it's like you have in level 2, for instance, we do manicure and pedicure, which is hands and feet. And then in level 3, we do nail technology, which is the artificial nail extensions, the gel, the silk, the acrylic. You need to have the manicure and pedicure qualification in order to do the nail technology qualification. So the one leads up onto the other one. And we find that students, when they go into the beauty industry, most of them are so passionate, they can't wait to learn another thing and add and build onto their repertoire as well as their studies. So in most cases, we find that the full-time studying or the extension of one level to the next is almost automatic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the question I want to ask, and obviously now, say I've done my course, I've basically completed it now. What career opportunities are there out there, obviously locally and internationally, for those students that actually completed the course?
Yeah, you mentioned cruise liners earlier.
Yeah, it was one of them that was mentioned.
Yes, I did. So career opportunities, we've looked at the different I want to say, departments within the beauty industry. We have sort of entry level, which works in the cosmetic stores, as I mentioned, within the mall. So beauty consultants is a big industry because retail, there's a lot of money in that. So these students with a background in beauty knowledge would be able to enter into that part of the market and work as a beauty consultant in a retail store. So that is one career opportunity. Other career opportunities also includes them working in a salon as an employee, a beauty salon, or working within the spa environment. Very often the spa environment requires different qualifications. So that is why we try and build the different levels of qualifications so that the student can then enter into any of those two markets. The students can then work overseas in the countries that recognize ITEC as a qualification. ITEC currently has about 52 countries worldwide that recognizes their standard of training. So working overseas, yes, that is a great possibility. And then the cruise lines, during the COVID phase where cruise lines obviously was put on hold and nobody really traveled, working on cruise lines was not as possible. But again, that industry has started up. We have interviews of the cruise line recruitment companies that actually come to the college and introduce this line of career opportunity to the student and then assist them in that process for applying and working overseas. Some of our students tend to want to specialize. So they would become a lash technician, they would become a manicurist or a pedicurist, or just a nail technician. And other therapists actually enjoy doing everything, so they would then do the full menu.
Okay.
Just a quick one. I actually just wanted to ask this, just in curious sake, in actual fact. So when I go to basically go have my hair done, my best experience is when I actually have my head washed and they massage my head. I actually tend to fall asleep. Is this part of the experience you guys also teach, how to wash your hair? Oh, my word, is beautiful.
It's wonderful that you actually mentioned this. I had a conversation yesterday with one of my facilitators in hairdressing, and they were doing a practical assessment. And I asked him, how come they give such a proper treatment? It's not just sitting at the basin and having a massage. It's actually putting on treatment with a brush, massaging it in for 20 minutes, then putting it under a dry, heating it in. And then when the client gets up from that experience, she's most certainly half asleep. So yes, that is part of our introductory studies for hairdressing. They actually teach that to them in the first year that they study.
I was going to say, because that for me is therapy, definitely, I'm telling you. And then just on top of that, obviously we spoke about international and, local basically. So say in all careers, you've got your architects that belongs to an association, accountants belong to an association. Is there an association or body that, that your beauty body out there by any chance?
Yes, we actually are affiliated with the South African Hair and Beauty Bargaining Council that represent our trained qualified therapists within the industry, making sure that they protect them as far as the labor laws is concerned, their working hours, their salary structures. So the Bargaining Council is the one part. Then the Employment Organization is another, which helps to assist in improving the standardization of treatment facilities within the hair care and beauty industry. So they would go in and assist with quality management, making sure that health and safety rules and guidelines are adhered to, as well as giving preferential treatment to students that are qualified, that have certification. That's one of the things that has increased over the last couple of years, that there's not that many uncertified therapists or stylists working out there, because we have somebody like the Employment Organization and the Bargaining Council, as well as Services CETA, that plays a very important role in making sure that we are protected from an employment point of view, as well as for our clients, that the standard and the quality of treatments that they receive within these accredited salons will then be of the highest quality. So Northlink is associated with Services CETA. We're also with QCTO, as well as with the Bargaining Council for Hair and Beauty, as well as the Employment Organization for Hair and Beauty of South Africa. So we make sure that that association and certification, as well as accreditation, ensures that we have the highest quality of training and standardization for our students, and that they are the people that are the most sought after within the industry for employability.
Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense, because that is definitely something that that parents and prospective students would look at. Another aspect of that would be in terms of, and especially when it comes to something where you would, and I want to say you're acquiring skill. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's loads of passion in there, but there's something also where you acquire skill. How are we looking in terms of class sizes? I mean, is there still gap and space for individual attention?
What we do as rule of thumb, and this is something that I feel very passionate about, we only take in 20 students per group. So there would be a full-time facilitator available that would be able to give that personal attention to each student. Some of the students, they work faster, they learn faster, as we know. Some people absorb information differently than others. And also some people are more practically inclined than theoretically inclined. By having a group of 20 students, we have the ability for the facilitator to spend that extra time with the student that is maybe taking a bit longer than somebody that's working faster. And by having a small group, we find that students, they excel within that environment. And also, they work on each other and physically do the treatments with each other every single day. So they encourage each other as well and learn from each other within the process, with the guidance of the lecturer or facilitator that then assists them.
Thank you so much for that. I've got two more questions that I want to pop around as well, and I see there's loads of comments and questions in, but keep them coming, and thank you very much. Jairo, Rensha's, a couple of comments. This is two of the last names I just saw. There's lots as well. JPO Western Cape, thank you very much for that, and we'll address some of those as we go through. But quickly, Elena, I want to ask you, how does the schedule on and off campus work? What is that about?
So schedule on and off campus has to do with our hairdressing qualification. As I mentioned, it is a QCTO accredited qualification, and that relies on industry experience as well as contact hours within the class. So in the first year, the students would come in, they would have contact hours of 3 to 4 days per week, and then work within industry for 2 to 3 days alternatively. So there would be on-site teaching and learning at college, and then there would be an off-site teaching and learning with a mentor in a hair salon that is a qualified trade test professional, hairdressing stylist, and she would then guide the student within the workplace. So there is an on-site and off-site component with the hairdressing students, and this will change from one year to the next as the student becomes more competent and gains more skill. She would spend more time within the industry and less time at college.
Cool.
Excellent.
Then just earlier, I heard you chatting about the theory and practical components of the course.
Yes.
And because I know a lot of people is very much theory, on the theory, and some people is very practical as well. So just discuss basically, a component. And have you got a case study for us, maybe exactly in what we're saying about being a practical person or being a theory, basically?
Yes, I have so many examples. We see this with our students every single day. In hairdressing, the theoretical component is, I would say, about 30% of what the time that they spend on with their contact hours. It is about acquiring a skill, making sure that the student can perform the technique perfectly. But the theoretical knowledge is paramount in the sense that they will not be able to understand the service that they provide if they do not have the theoretical background. So what we do is an integrated or blended approach with theory and practical. So the lecturer would present the theory, but then demonstrate the exact technique involved with that theoretical component. And then the student would get the opportunity to practice this within the class environment.
Okay. Now, there's so many other questions that pop to mind now, and one of them that I'm definitely going to ask you in terms of a cost, which I think is important. And you know what? I actually want to go there. Let's do this straight away. In terms of cost, when it comes to this, as well as for the kits, the things that you need, almost said ingredients because you're making magic, but all the tools you would need. How does that work?
Right. So our courses for hairdressing and for beauty is self-funded. So students need to pay a deposit as well as a registration fee when they start. Our registration fee is about 320 Rand, and that is simply for paperwork, for the student cards, to get them processed and part of the Northlink family.
Yeah.
And then our deposit of 5,000 Rand involves us making sure that you commit your space. Number one, because we have a large quantity of applicants for all our courses. And that also allows us to make sure that we order our kits or our equipment as well as our uniforms ahead of the time, so that when the student starts with her studies, she has the tools that she needs to use within the class. So the kit that they receive is not extra. They're not charged extra for the kit or for their textbooks. It is included within their course fees. And obviously we have payment options for the students, whether that is signing with us a financial agreement where they pay off the course fees on a monthly basis, or if they study with a student loan, and then they pay back the bank. So that depends on each student's situation. But we find that most of our students, the enrollment fee that they have with the deposit, they're able to pay on registration, and then they normally contribute within a monthly sort of deposit that they do via EFT or debit order. Now, our beauty courses, to give you an estimate, for the 6-month qualification, our class fees are about 16,000 Rand for the 6 months. And then depending on the international qualification for beauty that you do, that would determine your international examination fees. These examination fees are paid directly to ITEC, because they actually fly in an examiner from the UK that does an external exam in order to verify not only the quality of the student, but also the quality of our training facility to make sure that we adhere to their standards and quality assurance. So for beauty, as I said, about 16,000 Rand, and then ITEC fees, they range anything from depending on the amount of diplomas that you do. So for instance, for 5 diplomas in ITEC, it's around about 10,000 Rand that you would then have to pay in ITEC exam fees. And you would do that, all of those diplomas within the year course that you do. For hairdressing, it's a little bit different because it is a national qualification. Our course fees at the moment is 29,000 Rand a year. And the deposit stays the same. And I want to mention that the deposit is deductible from the overall class fees. It's not on top of. A lot of people go, oh, so you want 5,000 and you want the 30, and then we go, no, it's 29,000 in total. The 5,000 Rand is deducted, and then you create a payment plan for the outstanding fees.
Going forward.
That sounds brilliant.
So
now the very important question, which all our viewers has been asking, the question's been popping up like crazy there, is who and what can our prospective students contact? Who's the person they need to contact?
They're welcome to contact me directly. I don't actually mind taking inquiries, but we have a cell phone number which the student can phone. It is a direct line to our department. They're also welcome to send us WhatsApps. We will then give them all the information via this cell phone number, and the number is and sorry, I have a piece of paper here because I can't you know, my phone remembers my numbers. It's not that I keep track of them anymore. So the number is 060 762 0587. So just to repeat, 060 762 0587. So they can contact us directly at the campus, and we will be able to answer any questions that they might have. We can also send them more information. They can simply WhatsApp us their email address, and we can attach a marketing brochure with all the course fee structures, the subjects, the entry requirements that they would need, as well as then obviously answer any questions that they might have with regards to that information.
Excellent.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And of course, your email is on the screen there as well, which is elena.besaidnote@northlink.co.za. So of course, you can email us there. Helena, thank you so much for joining us, Head of Department, Hairdressing and Cosmetology. Thank you so much for your time on the Link Show. Thank you very, very, very much. Awesome
Thanks so
stuff.
much.
Big pleasure. I tell you, Rhoda, she shared quite a bit there.
Oh, most definitely. I was quite excited about all this, courses, especially the one with the ITEC. I mean, geez, that is like brilliant. That is, what you get recognized around the world. And that made me very excited.
You know what, and I got to be, because she mentioned it, and she mentioned cruise line as well. Now, I worked on it, and I remember that was like a big thing, because I met a lot of South African people as well, from across the world, who were working in spas and hairdressing and all. And it's an ever expanding industry.
Yes, so
and this is the thing, and this is all really about passion, and this is where you get lined in and sort of step up for it.
And you know what, especially on the side of the beauty specialist, Dougal, it's just not regarding hairdressing and cosmetology. There's therapy, there's specialists. You know what, it actually gets broader and broader. And I actually I'll be honest, I was really stuck on basically cosmetics and thinking makeup and hairdressing, which is styling and that. But being a specialist, and being a therapist, I mean, wow.
Well, we're gonna touch base on all of that, because we're gonna talk to facilitators within hairdressing, and maybe they got some advice for me. It is never too late. That is at least what I say. So joining us now, because we're gonna focus on hairdressing, and we got educator and a facilitator joining us. So Mark Slater, good afternoon. Lawrence Kukamur, how are you gentlemen doing? Good afternoon. Thank you for your time on the Link Show. All well, I take it?
Good, all good, thank you.
Absolutely
brilliant.
awesome. So quickly, Mark Lawrence, what does your role entail at Northlink? Mark, let's start with you.
Lawrence Kukamur and Mark Slater.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
As an educator, I would say my role is facilitating between the learning content and the learner or the student.
Okay.
In short terms.
And Lawrence, for you?
For me, I just want to have as much fun as we can and don't care about what we learn. I'm just joking. So as a facilitator, I think it's become so important using our learners on a daily basis, or teaching them on a daily basis, that the workspace is interactive. So if we can create that interactivity, we believe they learn better and they learn quicker. So for me, it's really just have as much fun as you can to build a career. That's how we see it.
And it's actually wonderful you saying that, because I mean, people come to you and you see people who's entering, basically, you giving them the fundamentals, I suppose, in a lot of ways to sort of start a career. So it's quite refreshing to actually hear you say that, because I actually wanted to ask you, why did you choose then to work in this career then at Northlink, specifically there?
For me personally, I think. I started off as a hairdresser and worked as a hairdresser and realized there's so much that you can do in the industry. You can work on TV and film, you can own a salon, you can work in a salon, you can work on cruise ships. And there's so much career opportunities within the industry that I just decided at some point, building up enough experience, I want to give back to education. So, because that is the ground up for our industry, is to make sure that the starters we currently train will be up to the task. And you want to give them the best possible skill set to be able to go out there and achieve their dreams and goals, just like I did. I just think they have it a bit easier because we've done the hard work.
That is so true. And Mark, why did you choose that?
It was my first choice of career. It just happened, but I'm glad it happened. I started off wanting to steer my career in another direction, but I ended up in hairdressing, and I'm glad for it.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you guys say that, and Lawrence, you said as well that it is fun. And Mark, you certainly look like you're having a drawl as well. But now let's get into it, gents, because how important is attention to detail in this industry as well as in the course?
Oh, absolutely. Attention to detail starts from the very beginning when that client walks through the door. How you greet her, how you meet her, right up to the end when she's had her shampoo and massage. I think you mentioned the shampoo and the massage.
Oh, yes, I love
right
those.
up to that and out the door as well.
So when you refer to
Detail.
attention to detail, you literally from that first moment, somebody would
walking.
step foot into your salon to just greeting and just making them feel comfortable and actually putting them down, having a seat, and the whole role
Experience.
in that part.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the statistics say that a person makes a judgment on you within the first 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be on top of it. You have to be on top of your game.
Yeah.
Almost definitely.
And Lawrence, let me ask you this. You've worked at it. If your attention to detail is above average, if it is fairly decent, you've worked in the industry, I walk in, you treat me like R1,000,000 as I come through the door. Obviously, I'm already impressed and I am probably going to dig a little bit deeper and maybe spend a little bit more in, let's say, your salon for that, for that period that I'm there. Does it work that way?
Well, in general, I would say yes. If you think about that lovely massage you're having, we would hope you'll tip more, not just what we charge. But I think for the therapist or the stylist that's working on you, I think it's almost like instant gratification, not just the value and money that you're providing. It does give you a sense of you've contributed to somebody's well-being, you've contributed to somebody's life, and when they walk out, they flick their hair and they're on top of the moon and stop bowing. But that's how we see it. So yeah, the value is there, and you can charge more the more professional you are and I think a lot of stylists, as we train them, is really to be more interested in that client's hair, the well-being of that client's hair, and that the financial rewards will come by itself. So that's what we strive in terms of our dedication.
I always had this one saying, and I mean, you guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I always had this thing that I would walk into a place, and I mean, for me, I'm like that. If I get a hairdresser I stay with that hairdresser, or the stylist. And for me, there was always a kind of a difference between somebody that was kind of being like a hairdresser and a stylist that actually looked at my face, looked at my personality, and actually styled it according to me, and not just cut it to a certain length and then just dry my hair. That for me was always very important, because I could actually sometimes feel that difference when I actually went to a salon and feel the difference between a stylist and a hairdresser. Am I correct?
Absolutely. I think your stylist can see a lot more, can do a lot more. I think the times have moved on. We're not just hairdressers. We're not just training hairdressers anymore. There's skills involved, like communication, people skills. They always say that your hairdresser has multiple functions, from your psychologist to your gynecologist. They can handle any situation.
Yeah. Now,
True.
Gentlemen, is the course difficult? Let's get in here. I mean, firstly, if you're going to have
2 of us.
Yeah, is the course difficult? And I'm going to be honest why I say this. There might be a prospective student looking at this is like, I've got a bit of a feel for it. I think I want to do it because I've been doing it, let's say, within my friends and family and just helping next door neighbor out when I do this sort of things. But at the end of the day, you're going to acquire additional skills, in terms of handing scissors and clippers and all sorts of other things. But is the course difficult? And what type of students will thrive? Are we looking at a certain success rate?
We've actually got a textbook called 101 Hairdressing for Dummies. Not really. I think in realistic terms, the course, you can say it's not difficult. It is a skill that has to be taught. But our industry has developed so much, and it's thriving at the moment in terms of technology as well. So I do think students must expect to have some theoretical background or be trained in some theoretical background, because it's not as simple as anymore. Pick up a scissor and there you go. They need to understand from a styling perspective and a design perspective, you'll need the theory components, and especially when working with chemicals, that these are women's hair. If you're going to bother with that too much, you might get into trouble. So for us to make sure that they train in the theoretical components, and I would say it's for anybody that has a passion. I believe if you have a passion for anything, you can learn, whether it's difficult, hard. Yes. Is it always easy? No. I'll be very strict. Yes. But if you want to have a passion, you can learn. And that's our philosophy at Northlink is, if you have a heartbeat and you have a dream, we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
A skill can always be taught.
Yeah.
That is true. And what's your success rate? I mean, at the end, after the course, being, obviously with the two of you being the difficult part of it, what's the success rate?
I think I'm going to answer this, and it's actually a good question. Thank you for that question, because for a long time, our success rate in terms of how many learners reach the trade test section of the qualification, because that's the ultimate where you want to go reach. On our previous qualification, before it was replaced by QCTO, it was very difficult, simply because it was a lot of certificates on top of each other before you could qualify for a trade exam. And now that we've got the brand new QCTO qualification, the good news is that all these students will end up, final examination will be a trade exam. So I think the success rate's not low because of what we do, but it was because of the process getting to a trade exam. So from this year, we're super excited, we're super happy that we'll be moving into that direction, because I think we're in the process of registering our trade test center, which would be absolutely brilliant and amazing, because then our learners can exit on our own campus. They don't have to go anywhere else. So we're super excited.
Beautiful. I love that.
And that is absolutely wonderful hearing you that as well, because as you said, the industry is moving with at the pace of pace of light rather, and moving at that speed. And it's brilliant that you know, in terms of the institutions do that as well, because I mean, obviously there's more heads, more hair, except not for all of us. You know, but we do what we do. So let me ask you this, and this is where I would like to leave it. What would you advocate to students that could help them to be qualified in hair care or hairdressing then as well, and in cosmetology?
One word: passion.
Oh, wow.
You have to have a passion for your industry. It takes a lot of hard work to get where you want to be, but the one thing I would say, you have to have a passion. You have to fight to get that qualification.
And for you,
For me, if you ever had a scissor and you played with your sister's dolls and cut their off like I did, or you just have that passion and a fashion for, you know, eye for fashion, and you know that if you look at somebody's hair, you go in yourself and say, well, I think if I really try, I can do that better. Those are the students. If you see that dream, you want to travel the world, you want to experience fantastic opportunities, there is no easier way as becoming a hairdresser or cosmetologist. The world is literally at your feet, and Absolutely. You're always employable. When the lockdown happened, it was quite interesting how resilient our industry were, because we know we were in court cases fighting to get our salons open, because if you've been in lockdown for the year goes by, and this just shows that it's such a resilient industry, and they fought with so much passion to get our doors open again, and that just shows that they are serious about their careers. It's something they love, and who doesn't like looking beautiful?
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that is probably the truest thing I've ever heard, because hair always grow. Well,
except
it's fine. No comment there.
We do a shampoo and buff as well for you.
There we go, shampoo and buff, Dougal, don't worry.
Mark, thank you so much. Mark and Lawrence, thank you so much for your time on the Link Show. Thank you for shedding more light onto definitely exceptionally interesting topic, and also with the passion that you do it, and just constantly adding all these wonderful creative individuals that you aid in their endeavor. So thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was Mark Slater and Lawrence Koekeman. So they facilitators within hairdressing. So these are the people that will guide you. And between the two of them, and they've said it, they've got the years behind them. They've got experience.
Oh, most definitely.
The skill.
Where else? And actually to get this information, get the skills from somebody actually been there, done that. I mean, geez, guys,
and this is what Northlink does very, very well. The people who take you by the hand are exceptionally skilled. Exceptionally. So you honestly learning from the best.
The best.
This is what Northlink does exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Nobody does it like that. So we have focused a little bit on hairdressing, but as you know, it's all hairdressing and it is all cosmetology. So we've got two more people to talk to.
That's right.
And joining us, Michelle Malloy, joining us as well. And then we've got Philani Groenewald, and they facilitators with cosmetology. Ladies, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the Link Show. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. So just kind of take us through on a guided tour in the life of a student now who's doing cosmetology. Actually, as you arrive on the campus, Michelle, let's put that with you.
If you don't mind, I'm going to answer that question.
You go for it.
Okay, so our morning start at 8 o'clock, and then we start with our theory component. And as Helena has mentioned earlier, we have a theory as well as practical. So we start off with a theory early morning, fresh minds, hopefully not falling asleep. And then once we're done with that one, they take a nice long break, and then we go on to our practical component for the rest of the day. So whatever, whether it's a waxing or a facials or whatever the component would be, then we will practice the skills in the afternoon. And then after we're done, they do a proper cleanup of the class, because as we know, we are in a hygienic environment and we are in a hygienic scenario, and we have to be very careful for cross-infections. So then the students clean up and make sure everything is nice and ready for the next day. And then around about 3:30, then they go home.
Okay.
I'm just listening to you now. You kept on saying hygiene.
Yeah.
So just the importance, could you maybe just give a bit more details on telling us why it is so important?
Right, so I'll answer that one. Hygiene is extremely important due to the nature of some of the treatments that we offer. Students can get exposed when they're doing waxing and those sorts of treatments.
Oh, wow.
And so therefore, maintaining a hygienic environment, a healthy environment is extremely important every day. And we train them in infection prevention and precautions throughout every single treatment that they do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the assumption is this is not just something that you need to do, but if you embark on this as a career, that is what you do your whole work life then especially. So it is really great having that in the important. Is there a dress code?
Oh, yes. So because, I mean, you all know that if you go to a beauty salon, the therapists in the salon are always very neat and precise and, you know, with uniforms, and the hair and the makeup and everything always looks good. So because they are going into that working environment, we are training them while they are at the college already that is what they should look like. So they are issued in a uniform. So they will be wearing the uniform during the time that they study. We are on them about their hair. But as you see, our HOD has got a very funky hair color. So we're not too strict about the hair color because we don't want to, everybody is individual. But yeah, little things like the hair needs to be out of the face because you can't touch your hair and then touch a person. So yeah, the dress code is quite important. They need to look clean, neat all the time.
Sure.
I must say, there's many times I've seen, you know, some of the students, and I always thought to myself, wow, what are you studying, you know? And obviously finding out then that it was basically in the cosmetology side, you know, where they were dressing up like really, like, you know, to the T. It always reminded me of like as nurses, you know, that's like prim and proper and dressed like strictly to. So I was always, I'm still till today very impressed. So just quickly discuss briefly, and I think both of you can probably answer this, or if one of you want to answer this, for our students out there who want to come and study there, the program, what is expected from this program?
Students definitely can expect a high level of discipline within this program.
Oh, wow.
Everything that they are taught, all their treatments, encompasses a whole holistic approach. So everything about the client, their time management, in their productivity, in how they deliver the service, we aim to give them the best of everything and give them a good experience so that in turn, they can deliver a good experience to their clients. And we have this catchphrase in industry, time is money. So discipline is essential. The more treatments you can do a day, the more you can earn.
Now, in terms of, so I asked Mark and Lawrence this question, and I think I've got to ask you as well. In terms of the program, the course, the things you have to learn, is it difficult? Because, I mean, some of the things are tricky.
Yes, I won't say difficult. The tricky is the correct word. So anybody can learn something. But some people, yes, they are more theory
inclined, some people are more practical inclined, and even with practical, some therapists will be a better waxer, some therapists will be a better nail technician. But that is what's making our industry so unique, is because even though you were taught all of those components, you can decide if you want to go with just one of them, or if you want to excel in just one of them, or if you want to specialize in just one of them, or if you like everything and you're good at everything, then you can do everything. So that is the nice thing about our industry. You don't have to sit and stagnate and just become. I usually talk about the therapist sometimes going to robot mode. They kind of cut off and they just kind of go and do what they are taught. But we are working with individuals every day, and each person, each client is different, and that is what is making it easier for us, because then you can decide, you know what, I actually want to just focus on being a lash technician, or then whatever your case, whatever your preference would be.
That makes a lot of sense.
Ladies, thank you so much for just giving us such a wonderful perspective. But I know there are many prospective students and mom and dad and everybody is watching this now going, all right, we almost sold. Quickly, in 30 seconds, paint me a picture of what is a day like in the student. And I know you said it in the beginning, but now we're in the class, things are happening, we're all in our uniforms, the course is happening. What do we do?
Bring your energy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's crunch time. Because our courses are only 6 months, we try and incorporate fun things like nail art workshops, or bring people from outside because they get bored with our faces. So we try and get people from outside to teach them different techniques as well. But our courses are only 6 months, and that means that there isn't a lot of playroom, if I can call it like that. So when we are in class, we need the focus, we need the participation, we need the students to be there in the moment to make sure that they actually listen to every word that we say.
Yeah. And quickly, I just wanted to double check with you this as well, because we've been saying it now throughout the show, and it's a concurrent theme that this specific industry, I mean, this is changing by the second. The techniques and products that are available, they were unheard of less than 10 years ago, let alone last week. So the career is, and I mean, this industry is constantly expanding. So mom and dad looking at this, I mean, this is to them like, this is really you stepping into into an area that is potentially a gold mine in terms of opportunities.
Yes, a lot of opportunities. And Elena mentioned the cruise lines as well. I mean, I was one of those fortunate ones that could go on the cruise lines, and I paid off my student debt in the 9 months that I was on the cruise line. So there is really a lot of opportunity. And like Lawrence also said, you're never without a job. If someone doesn't employ you, you create your own. So there is always something, there's always an income, there's always something that you can find to turn around and to create an income for yourself.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Michelle Pilati, thank you very much for joining us on the Link Show. Best wishes for the rest of the day, and good luck, and have a lot of fun with the students, and just all the best. And thank you so much for your time on the Link Show.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So at this point, I think the best thing would be actually to have somebody that's been there, done that, and still doing it at the moment. So like you always say, Doodle, the proof is in the pudding. He's always saying that. So I think, it's time that we actually listen to or speak to somebody that's actually, been there and done it.
And we have such a person.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Anthea is that person, Anthea Campi. She'll be joining us, and she's a student. She's doing all of this, so everything the facilitator said, Helena, the HOD, we're going to post to her right now. Anthea, thank you so much for your time on the Link Show. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Fantastic, absolutely wonderful. Just quickly, put us in perspective. You are currently a student?
Yes, I am. Level 2.
Level 2. And what are you studying?
Level 2.
Oh, you went to level 3? That happens quickly, man. And what are you studying now? You on the hairdressing, Anthea?
I'm in the hairdressing industry, yes.
Excellent. So let me ask you, how did your journey at Northlink start? Because we heard that you've worked in the industry and now you've gone to go get the qualification.
Yes, I've worked for 5 years in the industry and then decided to go study so I can be qualified and do more with more experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were one of those people out there that obviously were born, had the passion to work with hair, but obviously didn't have the qualifications and felt you needed to expand this?
Yes, completely, yes.
And you always had that passion. You always had the passion when you were young. You saw yourself, this is what I wanted to do, and you worked in the industry.
Always, since I was 9, I was doing hair. Started with my own hair.
Okay.
And yeah, it wasn't always like this. Improved.
It's super brilliant now.
And like Lawrence, how many dolls' hairs have you basically cut and trimmed and washed and done all these funny things to?
A lot, I can't even count. A lot.
As long as you weren't like my daughter had removed the heads of the dolls and we couldn't put them back again, then that's fine.
Oh no.
Now, listen, we've heard many wonderful things about you. We know you definitely a top student in hairdressing. We know your practical skill is absolutely par excellence, extraordinary. You do something which is really admirable. You assist classmates because you've worked in the industry a little bit. You are punctual. You're doing a lifelong dream. You're very organized. Your experience going into the system, knowing what you experienced before you entered the doors at Northlink, because you had a bit of industry experience. Now you've acquired more skills. When you had to talk to a young Anthea or anybody else that would want to do this, what would you tell them?
Never let anyone tell you that you can't do it. You can. We all have that in us to achieve everything that we would and want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, my younger self, I would tell her, nail it, girl.
And most of it, and I gotta ask you, is it fun? Are you having fun? You just look like a joy. You look like you're having a ball.
We are always having fun. Every Friday. We're having balls.
And we know you're very good, but it's not that difficult, right? If that's where your passion is, you just got to do it and you're going to have fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And then listen, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your time here. We know you're busy. We don't want to keep you, and you got to go do the thing and all of this. And next time we're going to talk to you, you're going to give us advice on hair.
Yes.
Maybe not all of us. It's already now a joke. But some people you can give advice on hairdressing. We wish you all the best, and thank you for coming on, and good luck with everything you do, and best wishes for the future.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely awesome. So that is Anthea Company. There you heard it. That's proof of the pudding. She's having a ball.
She's having a ball of a time. It looks fun. She makes me excited just listening to her. She's so bubbly.
Yeah, no, she is. She absolutely is. And it is absolutely brilliant. And of course, a practically skilled. And I actually didn't ask her, but now doing the course, she walked in with a bit of experience.
Oh, yeah.
She's been in the industry. She's now done the course. Now, this is like...
Oh yeah, just going to push on to another level.
Next level.
That's exactly it.
But Rhoda, this is one of the things, because I want to go quickly back to Helena Besaidnout, which is the HOD, because I've heard a story.
Yep.
And you know what story I'm going to ask her.
Go for it, Dougal.
I'm going to ask her. All right. Helena, are you there? And thank you for coming back.
No problem.
You are there. I'm glad they got you, because this is something that I want to get you. And I'm sorry, but I am going to put you on the spot here. So we've heard from the facilitators. We've heard from Anthea, which is absolutely brilliant. And thank you for having all of them there. But right now, I mean, the hairdressing skills, the cosmetology, when it comes to the spa treatments, the stylist, and all of that, where you hone the skills, I've heard a rumor that you guys do salon days.
Yes.
Please spill the beans.
Salon
Spill
days.
the beans.
The rumor is true. We started up with student salon again this year.
Okay.
It is an old tradition in our department to spoil the community, to get the community involved in seeing how our students are learning every day. Our student salon is on a Friday only, and only by appointment.
Okay. So
it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, every Friday.
Every Friday, okay.
And the reason why we have it on Friday is because it's just before the weekend, so everybody wants to look and feel their best. And especially for the hairdressing, the girls are so good, your hair will last till church on Sunday, so you don't have to do anything with it over the weekend. And so our student salon is on a Friday morning. It starts at 8 and it's till 1 o'clock. And we have created this as a learning experience for the students, but also as a great opportunity to be pampered and to treat yourself, because we have incredible prices for the treatments that we offer. Okay. We only cover the product that the students work with. So we find that it's about 10% of the retail price that they can get these treatments for, and at a very high standard and quality, because there's a lecturer or a facilitator standing in the room, making sure that the quality of the treatment is absolutely fantastic.
All right, Elia, well, just backtrack here quickly. All right, there's a couple of things here. There's a couple of things. So this is on hairdressing. So I will get a hairdresser stylist. I will get that. All right. And there will be a facilitator, educator in the room, so to make sure a student don't do what they're not meant to do.
They won't. They won't do what they're not meant to do, but sometimes there's a little bit of guidance still necessary with some of the students. Exactly. And sometimes the clients, they don't communicate well. So they don't say, listen, I don't want this kind of blow dry, I'd rather prefer something that is more flat, or I would like my curls this way or that way. Yeah. And because the students are still learning, we're making sure that it is a teaching moment, that it is a training moment at the same time. And for us to be able to offer that quality of treatment to the client, make sure that we get more and more clients. And this is a form of marketing for our department as well. People talk. Yeah. And if they've had a great experience, they will mention it to somebody. And this will ensure that it creates that opportunity of telling people about Northlink College, the quality and the standard of training that we have, and inviting students to come and experience, even if potential students come and have their hair done themselves, just to see what our facilities are like, meet some of our lecturers, meet some of our students that are currently studying. So it is a great opportunity, not only for a spoil and a pamper, but as a marketing opportunity. And then, of course, the most important, as a training and learning opportunity for our students.
It's absolutely brilliant. And I love the fact that you said that that is like a fraction of the cost that you would normally pay. So I absolutely love that. And they do it, it happens on a Friday.
On a Friday.
You've got to do an appointment. And how do people do? They visit your website?
They can actually contact us on the WhatsApp number that I previously gave. Okay. They can also send an email to us. We have a booking system, which we then log and let you know that your appointment has been made. WhatsApp is, we find, most popular for clients because they can communicate very quick and easy. Is there an opening available at 10 o'clock? Yes, no. What would you like to have? And our administrative staff at the department is great with handling any inquiries as far as the bookings are concerned.
No, that's absolutely brilliant. Do you know what? And I just got to compliment you as well, because just a moment ago we spoke to one of the students, Anthea Campy, and she was absolutely brilliant. Bubbly personality, really fantastic. So that is the kind of energy and excitement and just real passion that a person would expect if they pop in there by you on a Friday. So I absolutely love this whole salon days sort of thing. Now, Lena, when we were about to wrap it up, prospective students are looking at Northlink, making Northlink the destination in terms of to further their studies. What else is there that we can tell students to say, listen, this is really where you got to go. It is the place for you. We've showcased so much of the passion that you have right now. What else is there we can tell them in closing?
If I can mention something for students looking to study or create a career opportunity for themselves within the industry, it is important for them to do their homework, look at other colleges, what they offer, but specifically look at accreditations and qualifications that the training institutions are registered with. Because we do find that there's some of the smaller, more private companies that offer training, not at a bad standard, but they're not registered and they're not accredited. And as a result, the student would pay the money, spend the time, invest in herself, and she would walk out of there without having the proper certification. So my advice to potential students, do your homework regarding the places where you want to do this opportunity. Ask the questions, as well as Northlink is a place where, with people that has been in the industry for a long period of time, has all the industry experience, is as passionate as you've just seen. They are about more than just the training and the learning. They're about igniting the passion within the industry and maintaining the quality and standard that is expected within top salons and spas within our country and across the world.
Absolutely excellent. Listen, we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for coming on the Link Show, and best wishes to you in the department, and continue inspiring and do the amazing things you do, because it's just absolutely wonderful. But thank you once again for joining us on the Link Show.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Absolutely brilliant. Biggest pleasure. So there we had it from the head of Department of Hairdressing and Cosmetology, Elena Mercedes at the Northlink campus, and of course that's the Parow campus. But it is absolutely brilliant, though, because once again, this is the place where you got to go. You got to go to the North.
Exactly. And you know what was quite exciting to me as well, for the fact that, that grade 9? So having to start off at the age of 17 and that, and actually just doing like bridging, basically to get to the next level. And then also the fact that they brought in the beauty side. So we had cosmetology, we had the hairdressing, and then there was a beauty, which was the new course, which was, what was that one again? The ITEC.
And with the ITEC and ITEC, the different levels. So there was the beauty specialist diploma, there was the therapist, there was that. There's all of that and a lot more. And then the hairdressing side as well. So, it is absolutely brilliant. But the big thing for you is, if you're watching this and you definitely got that passion, you want to make a difference in people's life, and as well as one day think to yourself, I want to work for myself and have that entrepreneurship edge opportunity as well, and just explore the world, and really, let's be honest, it's creative people that drive the globe. There's no two ways about it. So the first thing you got to do is go to the Northlink website. It is as simple as that. Go to northlink.co.za and get all the details there.
And just a quick one on that, Dougal, and I mean, this is quite serious. It's just not for ladies out there. Come on, guys. If you've got that passion as well, you want to go into the cosmetology side, you want to do some hairdressing, there is nothing wrong with doing that. If you've got that passion, go for it. If this is your dream, nobody can stop you.
You know what? And we had a question like that. We had actually referred to that, but and it's open for everybody. You certainly got to do it. And this is the one sector, this one industry that is constantly expanding. We constantly see it, and that is the big thing. So details for Lena Mercedes, of course, they're on the screen as well. And here comes that all important WhatsApp number 0607620587. So use that to get in touch with the salon days and for any questions you have. Biggest thing you've got to do is remember to like and share this video, but most importantly, thank you to all the wonderful people that came on the Link Show today and sharing their stories, of course, and giving a bit more insight to what happens in that department of, and specifically that campus when it comes to hairdressing and cosmetology. And it was absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant. And thank you for all you guys that actually came online. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Lots of wonderful comments there as well. And of course, those are all being answered as we go on as well. So thank you for watching. But that wraps it up for us here on the Link Show today. So from all of us, thank you very much from watching. And we wish you the best going forward. So from Rhoda, myself, and Jabbar, until next time, thank you very much. Cheers, everybody.